What's up, Packer fans? Happy Saturday. Welcome into the Pack-A-Day podcast. I'm your host, Andy Herman. As you know, usually on the Saturday and Sunday episodes, I like to have a little bit more fun. So today I'm going to be going over some scouting reports from previous Packers or current Packers, one of the two. I'll read them to you. I'll see if you guys can figure them out, and then I will let you know the answers at the end. But before we have our fun, before we get to that, quick tangent. I'm not going to go too far into this, although I probably could and would probably like to. I mentioned this on Twitter as well, but Sage Rosenfels tweeted out on Friday, there are maybe a couple thousand people in the world who know how to watch college or NFL film and know what they are looking at. Watching TV versions does nothing. Most people don't have a clue about defenses, protections, or coverages. Stop with the I watched his film. Now, I have a feeling that Sage Rosenfels is basically responding to somebody who is probably very boisterous and saying that some prospect was going to be great or a bust because they quote unquote watched the film. And if he's putting somebody that's trying to be a know-it-all on blast with this tweet, fine, whatever, I get it. But every once in a while, there'll be people that are like gatekeepers of the NFL film, and they're like, there's only so many people that could potentially do this, and only the coaches could possibly know, and there's no way that anyone could watch film on TV and know what's possibly going on. And a couple of things really quick. So first of all, he mentions watching TV versions does nothing. Okay, to some extent that's true, depending on what position you're watching. A lot of times you can get some level of understanding with certain positions, but yes, if you don't have all 22, it's really tough to gain a really good grasp, especially at corner, wide receiver, safety. Those are really difficult if you don't have all 22 films, and quarterback the same way, because if you can't see how the routes are developing and what the quarterback's actually looking at, it's really tough to judge them on given plays. So I will give you that, but there's still things that you can pick up on. I'll get to that in a moment. And then secondly, even if you're not a novice with understanding film and protections and everything, if you watch enough football over and over, and you're watching the all 22 tape and you're breaking down film and you're reviewing stuff, you're going to be able to pick up on some tendencies, some nuances, and you're probably going to be able to speak pretty educatedly about it. And again, I don't want to go on a huge tangent here, but there's absolutely things that you, me, my mom probably, even though she doesn't know a ton about the Packers and football, like that if you watch enough and you watch with a discerning eye and you're staying focused and you're taking notes while you're also trying to learn the game and ask questions of smart people and read books and all those sort of things and watch seminars online, trust me, there is enough nuance that you can pick up on that you can speak educatedly about. So for anyone to say there's only a handful of people that could possibly understand and break this down, at the highest of levels, yeah, that's true. If you're not legitimately just doing this 24/7 and in and out of football, and that you're living and breathing it, and you're in locker rooms and you're breaking down tape with other coaches and you've put together game plans and coach and playbooks and everything, to some extent, yeah, it's really tough to be able to do all of it. But as long as you're breaking down film and you're giving what you see on tape and you're breaking down what you do know and you're not going over the top, like I mentioned, maybe someone was being boisterous about a prospect or something like that, and you're talking about what you do know, yeah, there's a ton of room for that with a variety of different people. So if you are somebody that enjoys watching tape and breaking it down, maybe you don't understand at this point in time everything about the game. I certainly don't. And there's still things where I go to people that are smarter than me at it. Ben Fennell is a great example. I ask him while I'm grading plays in season, what the hell just happened on this play? I'll review it over and over. I'll look at it in a million different ways. I'll look at different playbooks and things to try to figure out what the hell just happened. And at some point, I just have to throw up my hands. And I'm not grading, obviously, anyone poorly on a play that I don't fully understand, but I'm doing the best that I can to give you an accurate depiction of who played well and who played poorly in that game by watching every player on every play in every game, calculating those stats with the same discerning eye every game. Now, this will be my 5th year doing it this upcoming year. So is it perfect? No. Am I the be-all, end-all in Packer grades? Hell no. But you can absolutely learn a ton by doing it, and it's allowed me an opportunity to speak on a variety of different Packer topics over the course of the year because I have seen every one of those plays and looked at them with a discerning eye. So yes, maybe there are only a select elite amount of people that fully understand it at a complete and total level, but there's a ton of room and space for people who are enjoying football that want to break down tape that can still do it and break it down in a very educated way. All right, tangent done. Let's go through some really fun scouting reports from either current or previous Packers. So I'm going to read these one at a time. I'll give you guys some time to figure out who you think it is. And then at the very end, so if you want to pause it before the end to go back and make your guesses or post them below, definitely feel free to do so. But at the very end, I will read the answers so you don't have to wait for it or search for it or anything like that, or wait for tomorrow's episode. I could do that. I could do a sweet tease and make you come back tomorrow to get the answers, but it's not how I roll. So let's go with the first one. This scouting report says outstanding body length and overall mass, very competitive and leaves all his effort on the field chasing down plays from behind. Functional point of attack strength to hold ground. Has a knack for disrupting the quarterback's vision and batting down balls. Good weight room work ethic. Extremely short arms, tied for the shortest of any defensive lineman at the combine, and small hands for his size. Thin-legged, limited core power, tends to play upright and get controlled by double teams. Not quick twitched or explosive off the ball, penetrating gaps or creatively beating blockers one-on-one. Stays velcroed to blocks too long and needs to develop more variety in his pass rush arsenal. Below average ability and closing speed. A big, try-hard, tough, short-arm developmental 5 technique with the toughness and football smarts to earn a contributing role in the pros. Looks like he belongs in a 3-4 defense. He might not be drafted highly, but he will make a team. With his motor and effort, he will be very difficult to cut. Projection, late draftable pick. All right, so that's number one. Number one's done. All right, so number 2 on this list, I'll read this scouting report as well. Rare size with a lean, wiry musculature. I'm going to butcher that word, but solid instincts, exceptional combine workout, exceptional agility, change of direction, and short area burst. Experienced 3-year starter. Versatile and lined up all over the field as an inside and outside corner in both safety positions. Functional drag down tackler, has gunner and jammer experience. Does not play to his size in the run game, and length creates some issues transitioning cleanly in coverage. Needs to do a better job of shooting his hands in press coverage and playing more physical at the line of scrimmage. Stays blocked for too long. Tall, lean, high-cut press corner with upside to be groomed for a press coverage defense if he shows more willingness to improve as a tackler. Projection, 3rd to 4th round pick. All right, next up. Strong, intelligent blocker whose hand use and flexibility may not translate to a starting role, but he should provide insider backup flexibility on the right side. His strengths are anchor, play strength, run blocking, and awareness. His weaknesses are footwork, flexibility, and body control. Also has inconsistent hand usage. He lines up as a left tackle, but log snaps at right tackle and right guard early in his career. He played in 32 career games and started 23 games at left tackle, with 1 at right tackle. He's an above average athlete for the position, but lacks the flexibility needed to be a left tackle at the next level. He competes every play and displays toughness, especially in the run game. His best fit may be at guard for some teams, but he has enough traits and comfortability to get a shot at right tackle. Projection, multi-positional backup. Last but not least, very athletic, confident, and competitive. Instinctive, has a feel for coverage and works to uncover. Is light on his feet and loose-hipped with quickness to separate short. Has soft hands and can make the one-handed grab. Catches and turns upfield, is slippery and shows vision after the catch. Agile and elusive in space. Shows concentration and toughness to go over the middle. Extremely versatile. Experience working in the slot, confident fielding kicks, and played a multitude of roles, including as a holder. Responded well in clutch situations. Relatively inexperienced as a full-time receiver and could stand to refine his route running and become more nuanced with position-specific skills. Average size, narrow framed with a thin lower body, and durability could be an issue. Needs to get stronger, can be knocked off routes, and is not a physical blocker. Lacks elite top end speed and explosiveness. Too many concentration drops. Average run strength. Comes off as too cocky and runs his mouth too much on the field. Productive jack of all trades who could have stayed another year and been a Heisman Trophy candidate, but is athletic, intense, competitive football player who consistently made plays in a variety of roles. Possesses the short area burst, toughness, and run after the catch ability to excel in the slot and offers versatility as a return man. Is not an elite, physically intimidating number 1, but could carve out a Hines Ward-like career in the slot. All right. So those are my 4 scouting reports. Not my scoring, but I did not write those scouting reports in any way, shape, or form. 3 are from Nolan Naraki, and the other is from football, the SIS football rookie draft guide from last year. All right, so those were those scouting reports. All right, so I'm going to go through these. Here are the answers. So if you want to pause now and go back and rewind and think through a few of those, now is the time to do so. The first one, a big, try hard, tough, short arm developmental 5 technique with the toughness and football smarts to earn a contributing role in the pros, is Dean Lowry. I feel like they got that scouting report pretty spot on. I mean, even the last part, with his motor and effort, he will be difficult to cut. Like everyone has sort of expected him to be cut this offseason. Nope. Apparently it's very difficult to cut Dean Lowry. Stays Velcroed on blocks too long. I think there was the part about him struggling against double teams, which has been a Achilles heel of his over the last couple seasons. But he's been a pro in a 3-4 defense, which they mentioned as well. So hell of a scouting report. He was a late draftable pick grade. I believe he was a 5th round pick in actuality. So that was right about right. And yeah, I mean, they crushed that scouting report out of the park. So that was number 1, Dean Lowry. Number 2, the tall, lean, high-cut press man corner with upside to be groomed for a press coverage defense if he shows more willingness to improve as a tackler. Just chef kiss here. Of course, this is Kevin King. And I mean, they nailed the tackling issues, right? Mentioned that he needs to do better with his transitions, which has been a major issue for him throughout especially the last couple years. Inconsistent hand usage, stays blocked too long. They had him as a 3rd or 4th round pick. He ended up being obviously a very high 2nd round pick. But other than that, they basically nailed that scouting report as well. Number 3, the strong, intelligent blocker whose hand use and flexibility may not translate to a starting role, but he should provide inside or backup flexibility on the right side. That was Jon Runyan Jr. from the University of Michigan. So far, so good. It certainly seems like he's going to have a chance to earn a starting role this upcoming season. Too early to tell if that scouting report is right or wrong, but for the most part, at least based on what he did his first season, seemed pretty on point. So good scouting report there for Jon Runyan. And then last but not least, the productive jack of all trades who could have stayed another year and been a Heisman Trophy candidate, but is athletic, intense, competitive football player. That was Randall Cobb. And overall, this was a pretty good scouting report, but the last, what was that in the weaknesses here? Comes off as too cocky and runs his mouth too much on the field. Like that just does not seem to me like Randall Cobb at all. He was consistently having fun, and it never struck me as cocky or overconfident in any way, shape, or form. He was definitely a confident football player, but I don't, maybe I'm misremembering, but I don't remember him as the cocky type player. So overall, competitive football player. Of course, he needed more, route running and just overall receiver skills because he played at quarterback at times at Kentucky. I left that out of the scouting report because that certainly would have gave it away. But overall, returner, competitive slot player, could carve out a Hines Ward-like career in the slot. Yeah, I mean, Ward was definitely a much better blocker. But overall, I mean, I think they pretty much got this right in a projected 2nd to 3rd round grade. He went in the 2nd round for Green Bay. So goes to show, again, if you know how to watch some of the film, as Nolan Nawrocki, I never say his name right, certainly showed over the years that he had a pretty good understanding of it. Yeah, you can get some of this stuff right pre-draft. He was one of the best ones. He hasn't done a draft guide in a couple of years. I don't know if he just retired from doing it or what, but he always did a really good job on his draft guides. That's going to do it for me. I hope you enjoyed this episode. I might do a couple more of these. I don't know if I'll make a full episode out of it again, but I always enjoy doing these. I usually post them on Twitter, but I thought this would be a little bit more fun to post the video of it. Again, hope you enjoyed those scouting reports. I'll be right back here tomorrow. But until next time, and as always, go Pack Go.